water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished.
In today's video, we will talk about the Lavochkin series of planes from 2.0 to 6.0. The Lavochkin series can be summed up as the opposite of the Focke-Wulf 190. Instead of the role of a multi-purpose fighter, it's fully committed as low-altitude interceptor and escort fighter. You will see later in the video what the main differences are. The strengths of the Lavochkins are: great top speed, great climb rate, good flaps, good firepower and good survivability. Its weaknesses are bad mid to high altitude performance, low amount of ammo, compression of rudder and elevator at high speeds and bad payload options. In the time before the Soviet Union entered World War II, the Soviet aviation was way behind the other nations. The cause for that is obviously the Great Purge ordered by Stalin. He himself saw the I-16 as fighter of the future cause of its familiar construction from already outdated World War I planes. When the war with the Axis started, the Soviet Union lost almost their entire air power on the ground, due to the German surprise attack. To show some numbers, the Germans estimated after checking twice to have destroyed over 7,000 Soviet planes while losing only about 800 of their own in the first year of the war. That sounds like total victory, but those German losses were 60% of the entire Eastern Front assigned planes. After those brutal numbers, Stalin lost faith in the design of the I-16. While that was going on, two other talented designers worked on different planes. The Yak-1 and later the Yak-9 were chosen as the main Soviet fighter. Their performance was under 2,000 meters, slightly worse compared to the Focke-Wulf 190 and Bf-109. The Lag-3 meanwhile had the same engine as the Yak-9, but with the overall heavier airframe it was just underpowered and unreliable. The pilots who had to fly in it called it metal coffin. To address this problem, Semyon Lavochkin created a totally new design in 1942 called La-5. With the new Shvetsov Ash-82 radial engine instead of the Klimov VK-105PF. That gave the fighter the power it needed to fight German planes equally at low altitudes and was even seen as superior than the Yak-9. Only the Yak-3 and Yak-9 you could compete with it, while when the next upgrade, the La-7, came out, it was by far the most advanced Soviet plane on the battlefield 1944. After the war, the Lavochkin Design Bureau moved on to the new technology, jet fighters. The La series still saw service in the Czechoslovakian Air Force and in the Korea War. At the start of the match, you want to fly straight till reaching 400 to 410 km/h. From there you can go into a 10-degree shallow climb. Like I said before, the Lag-3 has the same engine than a Yak but is way heavier. That means you need to play like AF for you and use your speed instead of your power to weight. Speed is in the early Lag-3 mandatory cause you won't outturn anything on your BR. The only good thing about this plane is its maneuver energy retention and nose-mounted 12.7mm and 20mm guns. Use the tracer, universal or air target belt for the machine gun and the tracer belt for the cannon. You can also use the ground target belt if you don't want that many tracers. As beginner you should skip the Lag-3 and play the Yak-1/9 first. The later models of the Lag-3 get lighter and have a bit more engine power, but it's still not comparable to the Yak-9. I really advise you to not play any Lag-3 because you won't have a good time. The La-5 on the other hand is a whole other story. You now have an air-cooled engine with 1700 horsepower. That gives you a big speed advantage against pretty much everything you can face at your BR. Be advised that in a match with planes of a higher BR you have to be more careful. The P-51C in particular can ruin your game pretty easy cause of its high speed and turn rate. For the tactics, you still shallow climb and try to intercept the first attackers of the enemy. They have no chance against you if you fly correctly with speed. After that, you return to your team and wait for targets you can help with or even take out alone. Situational awareness is mandatory. If you misread the situation or don't see the enemy diving on you, you will be boom and zoomed. You have to use your speed to fly away if there are too many enemies or if someone is diving on you. At low speeds you have leading edge slats like in the BF-109. They extend at low speeds and give you more lift. That means for you in particular better stall speeds and stall controls. Above 550 km/h you will start losing control of the elevator. That means you won't turn much anymore, making it hard to get out of a dive and helps the enemy to force an overshoot. The La-5F is a significant update from the normal La-5 and has many quality of life improvements while also having more power. The La-5FN has a better engine and water injection that gave it up to 1800 horsepower. That gave it the advantage against the BF-109F4 and G2 and Focke-Wulf 190 at low altitudes in maneuverability and speed. Its climb rate is also competitive. It was the first Soviet plane that had a better performance than its German counterparts at low altitude. You just need to watch out to not fly above 3,800 meters. At this altitude you lose your war emergency power and with it 400 horsepower, making you an easy target for experienced pilots. We have come to the La-7, one of my favorite planes. The La 7 is an update to the La 5 FN. It's now made out of real metal, giving it elevator control at any speed. It's also faster and more maneuverable than the La 5, making it one of the best low-altitude fighters in the game. If you learned by now how to play the La 5, you won't have any problem playing the La 7. In this part of the video you will see how good it is against enemies in its BR. You will become the end boss. After the La-7, you will only find the La-7B20, La-9, and La-11. The La-7B20 is the normal La-7 with 1x20mm more, but watch out, the ammo is the same. The La-11 in the Chinese tree is heavier than the La-7 but has access to 3x23mm cannons. The La-9 has a bit more horsepower and uses 4x23mm cannons. I would advise you to only use them in ground RB as interceptor. You can try to go after ground targets, but you have to watch out for AA from the future and of course the ground, cause you won't turn as well than the original La-7. I know it took a while for another guide to get published, but after the Italian guide, I had no real motivation and time to do another one. These guides really take a lot of time, research and editing, so please make sure you leave a like and think about subscribing. Let me know what guide you would like to see next in the comments. See you in the game, bye.